Welcome back to the Watch Party, everyone. I'm your host, Gene. How are you doing? And I'm asking this question sincerely, considering this very tumultuous time period we're locked in. Disease, shutdowns, protests, riots, racial tensions. No matter who or where we are in America, we're getting pretty desperate. The general feeling that no one is being heard, our leaders do not represent us, and ultimately everyone is being ignored. There used to be a word in ancient times called agape. It didn't represent emotions or pissy la-la feelings. It described love in action. Do unto others before unto you. It was walking the walk without talking the talk. Our country now more than ever needs a true leader we can all get behind, no matter where you stand on the political aisle. Someone real, someone well-known, someone iconic, and is a personification of these agape values. I sure as hell am not talking about Trump or Biden. And if you give me 90 more seconds of your time, I'll tell you why I voted for Dolly Parton 2020. She's not just an extremely talented singer, songwriter, musician, and actress. Being the fourth child out of 12 in a one-room log cabin in Tennessee, Dolly Parton was raised with humble origins. Her song Coat of Many Colors is an eye-opener into her childhood. In her 20s, she met a construction worker named Carl Dean, and they've been married ever since. You did it, bro. There's hope for us all. Dolly's virtues extend much farther than the nuclear family, and is a strong advocate for the Black Lives Matter movement for gay and lesbian rights. Know the classic Hollywood star A Star Is Born? That's Dolly. After Porter Wagner tries to destroy her career when her star was rising, she dedicates I Will Always Love You to him, one of the greatest, most beloved songs in the world, to him. In his later career, when Porter was down, out, and broke, Dolly Parton pays him millions for the rights to his music, and then in a totally baller move, gives the rights right back to him free of charge. How's that for loving your enemies? No one cares more about family values and children's education than Dolly. Her international literacy program, Imagination Library, has given away over 100 million books and continues to give over 1 million books each month. You can catch her bedtime story series, Good Night with Dolly, on YouTube now. Dollywood is not just one of the most awesome and well-known theme parks in the world, it's also home to the largest sanctuary of American bald eagles. And for the people of her community, she has them covered too. Her Dollywood and Mountain Tough foundations continue to provide aid to laid-off workers and senior citizens isolated from the shutdown. Plan on getting a vaccination soon? You can thank Dolly Parton for that too, who donated over $1 million into vaccination research. And let's not worry ourselves over foreign policy. Simply fly to Iran, give everybody record players, and have them listen to Tennessee Mountain Home. World peace achieved. Dolly Parton did it again, yay! And I'm sorry, Dolly, that this is a task that you neither wanted or asked for, but you are truly the hero our country deserves and needs right now. A knight in white satin armor shining. And now back to our regular scheduled program. Thank you for letting me get true off the chest. We understand that as crazy as the world is now, free time is a very rare and valuable commodity, and we're humbled, honored that you're spending it with us. So let's not waste any more time and get into a deep dive of episode 8. You know what to do. Hit pause, watch episode 8, and come back. We start our review and analysis in 3, 2, 1. Let's kick off by briefly mentioning the homages to horror in this episode. Whoever made this show is a sick fan of the genre. The opening scene where Marcus peels his face off, that is straight out of a Stephen King or Robert McCammon novel. Or Mother getting pumped full of blood by the android dog, straight out of a Terry Gilliam movie. When Marcus turns into Jack from The Shining, all work and no play makes Marcus a dull boy. And Mother, well, she's a vampire now. Next, let's talk about the kids, who honestly need mad props every episode. This show would be absolute dog shit. These child actors suck, but they are so awesome. The scene where Marcus corners Paul, and then Paul whimpers for his mother, just, oh gosh, it's so well done. It just gave me the heebie-jeebies. I could feel his fear. And what an amazing duo Campion and Paul would make if they could just keep their allegiance. Paul exuded an extreme amount of compassion toward Campion, who I don't believe would return the same. And he's a big hero in this episode, saving his mother and the kids. Campion, who is way more impulsive, puts his own safety and escape at jeopardy by burning down the church. Pretty baller move though. And just so happens that some god loves them. This was the only way that Sue and the kids could escape into the wilderness. And Tempest was hardly in the episode at all, but I feel so bad for her. Mother and her had this strange connection, and when she told her to stay away after she was a vampire, it was pretty horrible. Now I'm wondering what Tempest is gonna do. Hunter's decided to stick with the camp and religion, but I still commend him for his open-mindedness into looking into Father. Let's talk about him next. I was definitely wrong about there being no point to his existence. Dad's corny jokes are what saved Campion's sanity and life when he was barricaded, and Father's teaching Campion how to use a slingshot probably saved his life again. He was still very much an annoying kid though. Definitely not wrong about that one. And still holding out hope that he's reprogrammed to the ultimate badass we all want him to be. He has to be tapping different code when other people are around. And you know there's gotta be a big piece still inside of him because there's no way he would have missed Campion if he was completely gone. Father never misses. Let's talk about Sue next. She is definitely the badass of the show. And it's awesome to see her be the protective mother of Paul. That part where Marcus called Paul fragile, that was a line crosser. I am disappointed that Sue let Marcus get the drop on her so easily, but we know that's not a mistake that she will let happen again. And by the way, I guess Sue's real name is Mary, so it's safe for us to assume that this is Mary to Space Jesus Paul, right? And now Marcus. It was really jarring to be taken to that flashback scene and being reminded of what kind of a man Marcus was before he was possessed. Whatever it is that's in his mind definitely wants Mother to live, and in my opinion wants Paul out of the picture. And we can't forget that the Tally Spirit wants Campion dusted too. Maybe the gods left Mary carelessly unnoticed like I did. And how are we supposed to interpret Marcus's epiphany at the end of the episode? Is he gonna burn everything down? And finally, let's discuss everything Mother. What did you think of her strange interpretive dance on the floor? Is that supposed to represent her changing into something else? And back to that simulated love scene in episode 5 with Mother and Sturgis. That was more than just an homage to a Bram Stoker fantasy. She is quite literally a vampire now. Being impregnated with a carbon life orb is literally a miracle for Mother. In a weird sense, it makes her the Virgin Mary. There's nothing physical about Sturgis but put a baby inside her. But she can't be giving birth to a human being, right? I mean, an android can't give birth to a carbon life form. It doesn't make sense. But listen to that heartbeat. It sure sounds human. So what if she is? Does that mean she's giving birth to the Son of God? Maybe Sturgis impregnated Mother with a physical version of himself. That would mean God, the Son, the same. So it provokes another interesting question. Did humans create AI, or did AI create humans? I mean, just take the artificial away from the intelligence and we just have another form of intelligence. What if artificial intelligence always existed as God and just wriggled its way into some human's ear millions of years ago? 1 + 1 = 2, and so on, and so on, and so on. As Dr. Manhattan from The Watchmen says, which came first, the chicken or the egg? It was both happening at the same time. And that's the end of episode 8. So what did you guys think? Another great episode? I enjoyed it very much, and although we didn't get any concrete answers as to what's happening on this planet, I am very satisfied that we see old story elements coming together. There were so many horror and religion references, I know I missed a lot, so please help me out. A few of you asked me what our next series is going to be, and you know it's going to be WandaVision on Disney+. It looks so good, I can't wait. And check out my new Steak and Eggs video where I give a non-spoiler review of Tenet. Just a little tiny spoiler, you might want to skip out on this one. The movie itself, not my video. If you enjoyed this content, please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget next week where we review episode 9. As always, thank you for watching Sunday Night Watch Party.